guys, Kayla back here with another video. Okay, so the topic of today's video is putting yourself out there. Okay, so like, what does that mean? Where is there? Well, there can be anywhere that you wouldn't usually go, you know, maybe because it's like weird or scary or something like that.
I think you're so cool. I think you were so...
I'm gonna stop eating with you if you keep doing this.
You said I could say one thing. Can I say one thing, please?
Fine.
Thank you. Look, when I was your age, I was not cool like you. You have all these interests and your videos and just how you express yourself in them is so... It's just so cool. It's so great. And I just think maybe you just need to put yourself out there a little bit.
Please stop.
Were you filming my
Oh
life?
my gosh, this is so good. A look there at the new movie, 8th Grade, about a teenage girl about to enter high school, navigating today's all-consuming social media age. Do you see the phone at the table? And she's like, you know, looking at it. Joining us now, the film's writer and director, Bo Burnham. Thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Why, there's so many things. This is like an exploration of human anxiety in the technology age.
Yeah, I mean, I was really just wanting to write a movie about how I was feeling at the time, which was anxious. And the more I looked at how I was feeling, the more I realized I think I was feeling like a 13-year-old girl for a reason. And I feel like maybe culturally we're going through a bit of an 8th grade moment. Feels like the
8th grade was the worst.
It was the worst, and it remains the worst. And it feels like right now is a very crazy time to be alive, and 8th grade was the craziest time of my life. So the idea of being in 8th grade now feels
Well, we
impossible.
kind of have a president who acts like he's in 8th grade now.
In 8th grade reading level at best.
This is not about 8th grade.
No, but that is a connection. I mean,
it's
him and
about
his
this.
phone and his Twitter and his
This is about
need.
this. And kids, if you're, I have a 14-year-old, 11-year-old daughter. This is the dominant thing in their lives.
Can you imagine?
And you're constantly...
It's the dominant thing in your life. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
on the phone all day long.
No, but I'm talking. It's social. It's the difference between news. It's pure social media. So it's a daily scorecard every second about how they're doing versus every other kid, how many likes they have, how many things they have, and a constant reminder of what they're not doing. And their self-worth is so tied up in this.
Yeah.
And you're, as a parent, if you talk to any parent of teenage kids, it's like the #1 thing you're navigating. So you are in the zeitgeist plus 10, man.
Yeah, and I think we're all navigating it in a way. I felt like we were all acting like 13-year-olds on the internet, so I wanted to tell a story about the internet, about the one group of people that was acting their own age, maybe. But yeah, I mean, the internet means something to me. I grew up with it, I mean, a little bit. It sort of became ubiquitous social media when I was 17, 18, and I felt like it wasn't being talked enough about, honestly. There's a lot of like finger wagging about the internet and not enough just sort of depiction of how it registers.
That's you right
Oh
there,
my
right?
gosh.
That's you.
That's
right?
me with awful hair.
Okay, so you're kind of downplaying the thing you just said. I was a little familiar. You were personally one of the first kind of like viral YouTube sensations when you were like 16, right?
16, 17.
So this is a little autobiographical in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I've had a relationship with the internet for a long time. I mean, the girl in the movie, she makes videos, but no one sees them.
Well, yes, that's different.
But yes, the way kids express themselves online, to me, people see them as narcissistic and a lie. And it isn't just that. It isn't just fake. Trying to speak yourself into existence, trying to maybe live out loud in the air in front of you before you can put it into action, I think is beautiful and isn't talked about enough.
And every one of those girls go, "Hey guys!" They all start.
Hey guys, exactly.
Hey guys.
Yeah, hey guys.
Hey guys.
Always, yeah.
That's how we start the show many mornings.
Yeah.
Hey guys, here's a little more from the movie. This is Kayla and her dad. More.
Can you not look like that, please?
What? Like what?
Just like the way you're looking.
Looking at the road?
You can look at the road, Dad. I obviously didn't mean that. Just like, don't be weird and quiet while you do it.
Sorry. Hey, how was the shadow
No,
thing?
you were being quiet, which is fine. Just like, don't be weird and quiet. Because like, I look over at you and I think you're about to drive us into a tree or something, and then I get really freaked out and then I can't text my friends. So just like, be quiet and drive, and don't look weird and sad. Please.
Okay.
That's worse.
Oh my God.
Oh, you nailed it, man.
Oh my
You
God.
nailed it.
Just talk a little bit about these performances, because both the father, Josh Hamilton, and the daughter are like kind of giving incredible performances. How do you get these performances out of these actors?
Yeah, the dad, Josh Hamilton, and Kayla, who's played by Elsie Fisher.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's really just giving the actors, especially young actors, permission to be inarticulate. I mean, sometimes young kids in movies are forced to be able to like speak with an ability that is suspiciously similar to a screenwriter's ability to speak. You know, they're always like young poet laureates. And for me, the experience of being a young kid is being inarticulate, is struggling to say what. So the script is written like, so the thing about being yourself is like, wait,
Right, and then she can add in her own.
Exactly, and then it's sort of just like.
Which makes it even better.
Yeah, it's just about giving them
I have
permission
two
to
daughters,
speak.
and I have to tell you that impossible feeling on the part of the parent. You feel that with that father.
man,
You don't even
same
see
thing.
him
You just,
in the
wow.
shot, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I've never seen
What?
adolescents nailed like that, or a daughter-father dynamic. Like, that was me.
Oh, I appreciate it.
So hard.
I go, what do you want me to do? I'll do anything.
Yeah.
They try so hard, and they're so mean, especially girls, I will say. But in 8th grade life, girls and boys can be incredibly mean to each other on this. Is there any look at sort of the interaction with others?
There is. I mean, for me, the bullying has become much more subterranean, and even if it is that, it's much more just withholding attention. I think attention is sort of the currency that kids measure themselves against. So it's much less. I think kids would love to get swirlies and be shoved in lockers again. It's a much weirder, stranger space to navigate.
An impossible and also unpredictable space. Like your day can go from, you know, from wonderful to the worst day of your life with the touch of a button.
And you just don't get away from it. You know, you wake up with your social life and you go to bed with it. And at the end of the day, you have a choice between the back of your eyelids and all of the information in the history of the world. You know, I mean, that's a.
So how do you share? Let's help some kids at home or some parents. You both are somebody who was kind of on one side of it. Now you're writing and documenting and analyzing it. So as a parent, give me some rules or some guidelines of how do I manage my children with this?
I mean, part of it for me is, you know, I don't want to speak with too much authority because I feel as in it as anybody, but I think part of it is also paying attention. I hope the movie takes inventory of this. It's not just looking at kids as why are you on your phone all the time, but like what is the world that we've made for them to look up at and why may they want to ignore it? And also to just, you know, listen to them and communicate. And I think part of being an adolescent parent relationship is it being fraud? Is it about the parent being a punching bag? Like they're working out some of those feelings. That might be, it's not meant to go perfectly, but I hope the movie, because I've seen, I think the movie helps the kids sympathize with the parents and vice versa. I think
It's gotten great reviews.
That's
we got to plug
fantastic.
this a little bit. I mean, New York Times, Wall Street, I mean, great reviews.
A surprise hit. The movie 8th Grade is now playing in theaters nationwide. Bo Burnham, thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.